beginning. I have been in the janitorial world for a couple decades. I've had my head in the toilet, same as a lot of you have, and I know some of the challenges that are out there on both sides of the game field. So we developed FotoFinish because there were some challenges in the janitorial world that we needed to find a solution for. And one of them I think you'll relate to is, I'm sure you've all cleaned a washroom and cleaned it spotless. And one person goes in after you clean it, and then the customer at the site goes in and says you didn't clean the washroom. It happens, and there's no proof you did it. And so it makes you look bad, even though you did the job you were supposed to. And it makes the company you're working for look bad as well, because they can't validate the work was done. So one of the things that FotoFinish does is it provides photographic validation of the good work that you were doing. So I'll be explaining how the app works for you and a little bit about a real demonstration of the app so you can see it live and know how to use it for when you go to use it in your sites. If you have questions as we go along, please just unmute yourself and say you have a question. I don't always see the hand that goes up because my eyes might be elsewhere on the couple screens that I have running here. So I'm going to start with sharing my screen, and we'll get started with that, and we'll see how we go from there. So just one moment while I get the correct one up here. And I'm going to start the slideshow. We're going to do a little bit of a slideshow, not much of one. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Right then. So as I said, FotoFinish was developed for a couple of reasons. It addresses the needs of the company that you work for, the customers that are paying the company to do the work that is being done on site, and for you. It provides a remote visibility of the completion of all work on site. It's a cloud-based app that can be used with or without data. It works better with data, and don't worry, it hardly uses any data at all because it is cloud-based, and it transmits the photos in a compressed little module of data, and you wouldn't even notice it that you've used data for FotoFinish. It's that small. We've made it so that it works really well for you. It can work with Wi-Fi. If there is Wi-Fi on site, then it just works normally. Now, if there is no Wi-Fi on site and you're not using data, or you're doing a site where there is no cell tower coverage, you can still use FotoFinish. However, you would have to open up the app, and you would need to swipe down to refresh the app so that it syncs in and gathers the photos that would have to be used in FotoFinish. And then you would do your work and then use FotoFinish. And then when you get back to where there is Wi-Fi, you would refresh again. And I'll show you that as well. One thing you should know is that it is cloud-based, and therefore there are no photos stored on your phone. You cannot use photos from your phone and put them into the reports either. It is all encompassed into the app, and it is very easy to use. It is basically 3 steps that at the end of your shift, you would open up the app, and the app itself has several slots, and I'll call them areas. Each slot has a group of photos from that area. Now, the app will randomly choose one photo out of each of the areas for you to replicate. So you would take a photo similar to the photo that the app takes, repeat until all of the photos are taken, and then you submit, and that's it. Most times it's only around 2 minutes to take the photos, so it doesn't take any time. And again, it's very easy to use, and you shouldn't have any problems with it. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Great. So if we look at the original setup, you would have received just one second. There we go. You would have received an email from FotoFinish. It's a welcome email. And in that email, there is a link to set your password, as well as a link to the App Store, whether you're using Android Play Store or Apple App Store. There is also a link for instructions, and those are always available to you outside of the actual setup. So you can refer to that welcome email to link to the instructions at any time. If you did not receive a welcome email, there are a couple reasons why that may be. One is it's possible your supervisor has not set you up in FotoFinish yet. So if you don't have your email address and name put into FotoFinish, you would not have received the email. So just speak to your supervisor and they'll be able to get you set up. The other reason why you may not have received an email is that it's possible it's in your junk mail. Sometimes it does bounce into the junk mail. You can take a look there, search for FotoFinish, and see if you can find it that way. It's also possible that you erased it. I'm sure you get a lot of emails that, like me, I erase as many as I get almost because they're all asking for something. We weren't asking for something, but you may have erased it anyway. So if that is the case, you can go into the app and press forgot password, and I'll show you that in a moment as well. When you do set up your FotoFinish, the app will ask you to allow you to use the camera and to enable location services. Please say yes to both of those so that the app can use the camera to take the photos, and the location services, which is used when you are on site. The photos are geotagged so that the client knows where the photos were taken. Once you have submitted your photos, they are sent in for evaluation. And if the evaluators see something that is not to the standards that your customer and your company has agreed to in the cleaning arrangements of their sites, the photo can be failed. If the photo is failed, you will receive a push notice on your phone saying that there is a correction needed at whichever site and needs your attention. If you get this notice, and you'll also see it in the app itself as well, you can see why it may have failed. Sometimes it's very evident. Sometimes there's a comment which will explain why. You simply, next time in when you're cleaning, you fix the deficiency, whatever it might have been. It could have been toilet paper rolls left on top of the toilet dispenser, which is not part of the scope at any site. And you would take the toilet paper rolls off and take a photo of the dispensers showing that you've taken them off and put them where they're supposed to be. You send that in and it's evaluated again for a pass-fail. There's not many fails involved with the sites you're cleaning. So usually if there is a fail, it's because a wrong photo was taken. It might have been for in the picture that you can see here, it might have been for a toilet with the seat up and the seat wasn't up, that would fail. So if the photo that you're looking at in the app, the sample photo shows the toilet seat is up, it doesn't mean just the cover, it means the toilet seat as well, because we want to see underneath the toilet seat and the rim and everything else. So try to replicate the sample photo as closely as you can. Now, the photos that are used as a sample photo may be from your site, but chances are they are not from your site. We use generic photos for a lot of the photos. Mainly because it's easier to set up all the 1,300 sites that have different toilets. The toilet is a toilet is a toilet. So we use a generic photo so that the photo that you see in the sample photo may not look exactly like your site. And if that is the case, please replicate the photo as closely as you can from your site. There's a couple tips to keep in mind with FotoFinish. One is to keep your hand steady when you take a photo. Sometimes we've received photos so blurry you wouldn't know what's going on with it. Make sure your finger is not in front of the lens. We have seen red submissions, and that's a finger in front of a lens, so make sure your finger isn't in front of the lens. Also, if there is something at your site that is not shown in the sample photo, for example, let's say there's no washrooms at your site and it's asking you to replicate something in a washroom. If there are no washrooms at your site, you would take a photo of your feet. That way the evaluators know that you are taking a photo of your feet because the sample photo does not apply at your site. Now, more than likely, it might be like a microwave or a refrigerator, but anything, again, that isn't at your site, take a picture of your feet so that the evaluators know not to fail your photo. Any questions so far before I go to a live demonstration of the app?
Nope.
Okay, we'll continue on. Just a moment while I set this up. Okay, in a moment, you're going to see my cell phone screen right there. Great. All right, so you can see in the screen in the lower right, there is a FotoFinish. I'll get rid of me so you don't have to worry about that. You'll see in the lower right, the FotoFinish app icon. That's been installed in my phone, as it will be in your phone. Again, it doesn't take any space, doesn't use hardly any data, and you should have no problems once you open it up once to keep it open, and therefore you don't have to sign in all the time. But for this demonstration, I'm going to be signing in, so I'm going to press the FotoFinish icon, and you'll see the welcome screen. This is where you sign in. In the upper right, if you want a different language other than the default English, you can have it in French, or you can have it in Spanish. Those are the 3 languages that we offer in the app at the moment. If by chance you did not get to set your password with the welcome email that you received, you can, at this page on your app, you can press on the lower bottom there, forgot password. And when you press that, you will be asked to enter in your email address. The email address will send you an email with a link. You press that link, set your password, you're good to go. It's that easy. So I'm going to put in my credentials here. And it will, oops. Just a moment, I must have been all thumbs. There we go. So when you open up the app, it will open up on the sites. Now, if you are cleaning more than one site, you will see more than one site here. Whichever site you are closest to, that site will be at the top. So to make it easy, it's the first one at the top if that's the one you're closest to if you're doing more than one site. Where this is the only site, I will press that site and it will open up into this page, and you'll see at the bottom there was a green box that's saying synced with success. That means the photos have all been downloaded into the app and it's ready to go. And you saw how quickly it works once I went to this site. There really isn't a lot of data again because it goes in a microsecond and loads everything up. If you're using Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi only, and there's no Wi-Fi at the site you're cleaning, when you are at home or at a place with Wi-Fi, you would open up the site and then you would simply swipe down and that will sync the app. If you have more than one site, while you have the Wi-Fi, open up each of your sites and swipe down so that it downloads the photos that will be used. Here on this page, on the second line from the top, you'll see pending, started, and corrections. Each of those tabs contain information. There's pending, there is started, and there are corrections. Corrections are where you will find failed photos. So that is where you would do your corrections and take a photo of whatever it was that failed, simply by pressing either of the, in this case, either of the 2 tasks that failed there. I'm going to go back to pending, and the failed photo works the same as this, so you'll see the same steps needed. From here, I would press one of these tasks. I have several tasks here. You will only have 2 tasks, and tasks is simply a set of photos that you would take. We have 2 tasks for you, as opposed to the 6 I have, because I use this for demonstration purposes, and I need a few of these, so I have one to show you. You'll have 2 tasks, 1 of 1, 2 of 2. We have 2 tasks available to you 7 days a week, because there might be a day, let's say on a Friday morning, you clean the site for Friday, and then you want to clean the site Friday night for Saturday opening. So you would use task 1 of 2 for the morning and task 2 of 2 for the evening clean. There is no need to do both tasks if you're only cleaning once in the morning or once in the evening. So it's just once per day that you would send in a task or a report, unless you are cleaning twice in that day. So 1 clean a day, 1 task, 2 cleans a day, 2 tasks. To open up your task, simply touch one of the rows, touching the 2 of 6, and you will see on the screen that there is a photo, a sample photo, and it's of the men's restroom, men's wall fixtures. And I know this because it's written on the left-hand side below photo 1 of 7. The men's restroom is the area. There could be 2 different areas there. For example, the staff lounge and the janitor's room. is one area with photos of each in that slot, we call it, or that area. So it doesn't mean that the staff lounge should only have pictures of the staff lounge in it. It will also have pictures from the janitor's room in it that may show up. All the photos that are shown up in the app are randomly chosen. So in this case, this photo was randomly chosen out of about 23 photos of a washroom. Again, it's generic. So what you would do is go to where this photo would be taken, in this case, the men's washroom. You would walk there and you'll see on the lower part below the sample photo is my camera on the phone. You'll see a gray circle in the middle of the bottom, and that is the camera button. So I would go to the men's restroom and where the washroom is, and I would take that photo. Since I'm not at a site, I'll take a photo from my home office, and then you'll see two buttons on the bottom. The one on the lower right in green is a check mark. If your photo replicates the photo that is there in the sample photo, if it's clear and if it's not dark. If it is dark, maybe turn on the lights before you take a photo. This has happened. Then if it's okay, press the green button. If the photo's blurry or you've got something wrong, you can retake the photo by pressing the gray camera button on the lower left. As well, for any of the photos, and if especially with a correction photo, there are details added to it. You can press the little blue button on the upper right, and when you press that, you'll see more information about the photo or the site. Usually you will only need to press that for a correction photo. So everything's fine. I'm going to press the green button, and it's now at photo 2 of 7. So I am just going to run through these. I would go to the women's restroom underneath the sink, take a photo. Here's the staff areas, janitor's closet. I would go to the janitor's closet because I know that's where the janitor sink is, and I'd take a photo of that, press OK. Photo of the manager chair legs, press OK. And then the lobby, the carpet, press OK. And ATM, go there, press OK. And the last one coming up is the grate in the entrance. I would take that photo and press OK. Now, when I press OK, you'll see in the upper right, there is a submit grayed out. As soon as I press this last photo as OK, that turns green, which means you can submit the photos. I press submit and complete. This tells you that it has been submitted successfully and it is all done. You can press the bottom sentence return to tasks if you have more tasks to do at that site at that time. If you're using Wi-Fi, you may not see this because it has not been submitted successfully if there is no Wi-Fi on the site. So you would have to, again, swipe down when you are at a place where there's Wi-Fi so that it will sync, and then you will get this page showing that it's been submitted successfully. To take the 7 photos in this case at a site takes around 2 minutes. Doesn't take any longer than that. We have you start at the back of the site, work your way to the entrance so that you can take your last photo and leave. FotoFinish is that easy. And it is very important for you, your company, and especially the client, your customer, because they are the ones who believe that this information will help them run their business better and help you run your business better. That is all there is to FotoFinish. So I'll ask if there's any questions.
I do have one question in regard to the last picture of the ATM.
Yeah.
When we finish sometimes the cleaning in any branch, there are homeless sleeping in the ATM, and we are supposed not to clean the ATM when a homeless or somebody is sleeping in the ATM. We don't touch at all for security reasons.
Yeah.
So what do we do in that case?
Take a picture of your feet.
Okay.
And just do it the next night.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
And then if your supervisor has any questions, they can ask you about it. But that is standard procedure. Yeah. You have to safety first, always. Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's it, everybody. I want to thank you for joining me today. And if you do have any further questions, please ask your supervisor. They'll be able to help you out. And if you have any trouble working on FotoFinish, they'll be able to troubleshoot any issues as well, as they've all been shown where the troubleshooting guide is and how to resolve any problems on FotoFinish, which, by the way, there are not really any problems on FotoFinish. Normally, if there's an issue, it would happen to be the finger that is pressing the buttons on the phone, or sometimes a phone not having enough memory in it because it's overloaded with apps or information. So we'll be able to sort out whatever the problem is and get you going again. Thank you again. Have a good day, and thank you for the good work you're doing.